Never in my 27 years of life did I ever expect Blue's Clues to become a reality. Alright, y'all, so Chernobyl, home of the biggest nuclear disaster in human history, apparently has blue dogs. Yeah, not glowing green, not mutated monsters, but bright blue stray dogs roaming the ruins of this old nuclear power plant. And I ain't even gonna hold you, y'all, this sounds like some sort of Marvel origin story or something out of Fallout. But this is actually happening in real life. So for today's story, we're talking about the mystery of the blue dogs of Chernobyl and why scientists are so confused in what they think might actually be going on. Spoilers, it isn't radiation. So here's a little bit of backstory if you don't know anything about the Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl disaster happened in 1986 at a nuclear power plant in Ukraine. During a late-night safety test, one of the reactors exploded because of human error and a faulty design. It released massive amounts of radiation all over Europe, and it was more powerful than Hiroshima. The nearby city had to evacuate, and thousands of people were affected by the radiation. It's still considered one of the worst nuclear accidents in history, and the area around it, called Chernobyl, is basically abandoned to this day. Chernobyl's exclusion zone is this massive 1,000 square mile area that's in Ukraine that's been untouched since this nuclear reactor exploded about 40 years ago. And over the decades, weird things have been happening, nature has taken over, deer, wolves, boars, and hundreds of other stray dogs are now living in this post-apocalyptic zoo. Most of the dogs that are there are descendants from the people that evacuated back in 1986, and a group of scientists have been tracking these dogs, but this past October, they noticed something strange that caught their attention. During one of their routines, a team spotted 3 dogs completely covered in a blue substance. Like, they totally looked like they came out of the Smurfs. I can't even make this up. I was mind blown when I read this article. And slowly, the photos went viral over the weekend, and suddenly everyone on the internet was talking about it and asking, wait, did these dogs get like a new color palette? And at first, people thought that this was some sort of mutation, considering that this came out of Chernobyl. It wouldn't be that crazy to assume something like that. But the thing is, radiation doesn't work like that. It only causes cancer, hair loss, genetic defects. So because of this, scientists completely ruled that out. So what's the answer to this question? Well, the most likely culprit happens to be this blue chemical that they used on old portable toilets back in the 80s. It says here in the article that according to Dr. Jennifer Betts, they think the dogs might have rolled around in this bright blue deodorizing fluid that was used for portable restrooms. Apparently some abandoned toilets in the zone are still leaking the chemical, and since dogs are naturally curious, they think that they probably went over there to discover and explore. So apparently these radioactive hounds of Chernobyl might actually just be toilet dogs. You can't make that up. But the scientists on site still haven't really confirmed anything. They're still experimenting, they're still examining these dogs and trying to see what's up. No one's even managed to grab one of these dogs and test their fur. They're super skittish, and every time someone gets close, the dogs just end up disappearing. So all we have for right now are just pictures and hypotheticals. But I will say, that blue color is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of the cartoon Bluey. But besides just having the blue fur, apparently the dogs are pretty healthy. They're running around as normal, they're eating, and they're living their best life. Well, the best life they can in a radioactive zone. It's kind of bizarre, but hey, it's kind of poetic, I guess, if you think about it. They're kind of reclaiming that territory for themselves, I guess. But anyways, guys, what do you guys think about this situation? Do you think these dogs just found a chemical that they rolled around in, or do you think that this is some sort of genetic mutation? Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys on the next video.